it's so great to see you guys. Thanks for watching. Can I ask you for a favor, if you don't mind? Can you write down, I feel terrific today in the comment section below? Help me engage with you. I want to connect with you. I want to authentically know how you're doing. And also, if you have any questions that maybe I can answer for you in a video, I would love to do that for you. So don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and share and tell all of your friends about the connections that you're making. And I will see ya on the flip side. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the portal with Terrie Huberman. I have an awesome guest for y'all today. I'm so excited. You can see her right now if you're watching this on the YouTube. And if you're just listening to this podcast, let me introduce you to the beautiful, the wonderful, the gorgeous Amanda Christine. Yes, everybody, round of applause. So Amanda is a digital creator and influencer. And we actually met on a podcast. We were both guests on a podcast.
Yeah, we were.
It was one of those like connections where it was like, she had me at hello.
Oh, for sure. Me too.
And then we started doing just some various readings and some other stuff together. And it was just like a lot of fun. So I just had to share with you guys, Amanda, because it's not fair for me to keep her all to myself, right? And she's just so beautiful inside and outside. So she shared with me a really cool experience that I wanted to share with you guys, right? So Amanda, first of all, can you just say hello to everybody and just tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe like what about this world of metaphysics and esotericism, is that even a word? Paranormalness and all of that, like what is it that kind of like draws you to it, or like, you know, tell us about yourself and your draw to this.
Okay. So we kind of found each other because I had ventured into the plus size modeling world, and through that started meeting different people, and I would get invited to this or to that. And I feel like it was such a gift the day that Mark invited me to his show, because I got to meet you. Aww. And our connection, I mean, I really genuinely feel like you're like my friend's soulmate. Like we just have this vibe, you know, and it was like immediate. It was just I felt like our souls were finally so happy to like be able to see each other again. We were standing at the back of the car and it was like ready to go. Everybody's like, okay, bye. And we're like still, still totally chatting. And so I don't take those things for granted, because I find in my life, when I am paying attention to it, it's a really beautiful process. Mm-hmm. How when I'm connected to my energy and when I'm connected to my purpose, I start to meet people that have a sort of almost a divine effect on my life, which you mm-hmm. have. So, but I've done plus size modeling. I graduated from Pepperdine. I went into finance, was in finance for a long time. And then I decided I wanted to just change everything. I got sober.
Congratulations.
So I got sober. And then I decided to do something creative with my life. And so I just changed everything. I started doing the modeling thing and influencing. I started the Instagram page and promoting that. I worked for a Body Positive magazine and just kind of really changed the things that were in my life and the things that I was spending my energy on. And I found that everything about myself changed, because I was doing things I was passionate about, and I was doing things that I really cared about. Mm-hmm. And along with that, like I think we've chatted about, but there's a lot of faith that goes into something like that. You really have to believe with every ounce of your body that this is what you're supposed to be doing, because there isn't just a regular paycheck that comes in. It's a gig by gig, hustle by hustle, minute by minute sometimes, you know? Yeah. And so I really had to hone in on the fact that this is what I believe I'm supposed to be doing with my life. This is how I believe I'm supposed to inspire others. And then go for it. And that was kind of and a lot of that, I think I was able to do that because I had found spirituality.
Very cool.
and
Got it.
light, if you will. And I
Yeah.
felt like I was the most lit up I had ever been in my whole life. And I wanted other people to feel that.
Oh, that's fabulous. So it sounds to me like, if I'm hearing you right, you found connection with yourself, and through connecting to yourself when you became sober, which is probably more about disconnection, right?
Right.
Like now,
Right.
if you can like clearly see how, so with connecting to yourself, not even planning on it, you started to connect to the divine, right? And then
Absolutely.
synchronicities started happening.
Absolutely.
And all of that. Yeah.
And I've
Yeah.
had synchronicity my entire life.
Yeah.
I think I stopped paying attention to it
Yeah.
because the substances in my life were sort of blocking that out. And I think that's actually why I used substances in some ways in the first place.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry, I hit the
No
table.
problem.
Was
You're good.
because I feel things so intensely.
Yeah.
That as a younger person, that was really challenging. I didn't really have anybody to guide me through all of the feelings that I feel that maybe other people don't even notice.
Sure.
And so I think once I got sober, I kind of reopened those windows.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, wow. Okay. Now I'm actually mature enough to be able to handle.
Yeah.
And I had had some skill development through recovery.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a 1 week deal. It was like months and months and months that went on for years. And I think that really helped me to learn how to better deal with the fact that I am such a sort of energetic, and I mean that like, yes, I have a lot of energy, but like even just the way that I experience energies in the world, I think is a little bit unique and sensitive. I would say that I'm sensitive.
I would say that 1,000%.
So,
and that's actually a good description, is sensitive. I actually know people who have these talents and skills, and some of them were mediums, right? So medium is someone who can speak to the dead. That were put on 5150 holds.
Yeah.
You know, or put on medication. So when I hear you say, well, you know, a reason why you were, you know, using substances to possibly, you know, help with everything. You're not the only person. So many people I know who have recovered or who are in recovery, you know, use it as a way to even though a lot of the times for a lot of people, it's used as escape. For a lot of people with sensitivities, it's actually, they're using it to collect themselves, to make sense of themselves.
Yeah.
So that may be different than, you know, your particular case, but it's really, it's very interesting to just kind of see. But what it all comes down to, the bottom line is like, when people find that connection to themselves again, that's when those synchronicities and, you know, all these divine inspirations come about. So I'm not surprised to hear that, but that's really, really cool. So let me ask you this. So like, since you are so energetically sensitive and aware, very aware.
Yeah.
Because I know personally, you know, I'd love to say that I'm always vibrating very high and like, yes, life is great, oh my God, which is like such bullshit and not real at all.
No.
What are some of your self-care practices that you do for yourself?
There's a few things I have to do. They start in the morning with vitamin routine, and I drink matcha green tea. It sounds, I mean, you have to really like green tea because it's the actual leaf. It's not just a steaming tea.
If you put it like in
your no, but you put it in your smoothie.
Okay.
But it's the full powder. I mean, they take the whole leaf and they grind it up. But it's a natural antidepressant.
Okay.
But it also is a very stable energy. So I got off of all other caffeine that sort of maybe made me a little too much jittery or whatever, and started this routine with the matcha because it's a very stable sort of energy, which helps me sort of, you know, not do too much of the swinging, because when I'm good, I am so good. But when I'm having a hard time, I kind of hide in my room because I don't want people to feel. I feel like when I'm around others, whatever I'm giving off, they get. right? So
Yeah.
when I feel really good, they feel really good, and it's
Yeah.
this beautiful thing. But if maybe I'm not feeling up to par for whatever reason, I feel guilty that I might in some way be bringing someone down, and I don't like that feeling.
Mm.
And so I tend to hide out a little bit if I'm feeling that way. So I have to remind myself. So one of the main things that I do when I start to feel like that is music.
Oh, nice.
I have to sort of go into my Britney Spears "Stronger" song,
Yes.
and like the Eminem, "This One Shot," that song, where
Yeah.
I just have to go into these like places where I remind myself that I
Yeah.
don't have time to waste in my room. Like, this is
Yeah.
so stupid. Take your few minutes, get your shit together, and let's get back out and inspire. Because that's really where I'm the most happy. So music is huge, but I actually have also started painting,
Nice.
which I'm not going to be selling any paintings anytime soon.
That's what you're saying.
Right. Unless they're like, this is the worst painting we've ever seen anybody do, and we're going to buy it, because it's literally nobody could possibly do this and think that they are doing something productive. No. But what I do is I actually sell on Poshmark. So during one of the things I've done during quarantine is I went through all my closet and all the, everything. And I pulled out anything I thought I wouldn't ever wear again. And I opened a Poshmark account. I started selling on Poshmark, but I paint the boxes. So you send out the box that you're going to, that somebody buys their little item in. And so I paint the outside of the box so that when it gets delivered, then they have something sort of beautiful on top of just getting their little item.
I love that. That is so personal too.
Yeah. And I don't do anything, like I said, I'm not not a painter. But what I do know how to do is just kind of create with color. And a lot of them are like an ocean scene, and it's just sort of an interpretation of energy.
Yeah.
Like I intentionally try to transfer my positive energy into the paint, into that box. So when they get it, they sort of feel like, oh, this is really cool. Yeah. Whether it's visually perfect or beautiful to them or not, I want them to feel like somebody spent some time and wanted to give them something from their heart. So so painting is huge, and gardening.
Gardening.
Yeah, I'll go out there. I'm like, oh, I better water. Because I used to take smoke breaks long time ago.
Yeah.
Before recovery, and so now my gardening is my 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, those roses look pretty dry. I better go out there and stand by myself for 5 minutes. And I'm gonna
hey, Mr. Rose, it's time to
put myself in timeout. I'm gonna go deal with the gardenias. I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, that's so wonderful and so beautiful. And you know what I love about those? What I love about the painting and the gardening is that it takes you out of your head, right? And the head is where the ego is. So you are literally communicating from your heart, from your soul when you're doing that. So it's truth and authenticity. So when you have the intention, for example, of painting the box of the item that you're selling, that intention is energy, and it does get transmitted. And because you're using a physical, tangible product, it's on the product, which is density matter. So it's like that object that you're sending is like it is an actual. You can call it sort of like an amulet if you wanted to.
What's an amulet?
So an amulet is like an object. Most of the time it's like a piece of jewelry that you would wear.
A gemstone or
like
something.
Like a gem or even like a brooch or something like that has intention behind it. Usually it's for protection.
So that would be like I for a long time wore a gold glitter bracelet to remind myself that I had a gold glitter bubble around me, that negativity would bounce off of it.
That's
exactly what it sounds like.
That's exactly what it is. And what something like that does, and it's very witchy. So it's more of a Wiccan pagan type of ritual, if you want to call it. And what it does is it connects us to the physical, tangible world to remind us that energetically there's that boundary. I mean, it's not like you're walking around. So
Just to
No.
but just to share with you, like, what my boundary is, it's plexiglass. It's a plexiglass box because it's bulletproof. If it's good enough for a bank, it's good enough for me. So, but you're not actually seeing me walk around in a plexiglass box, right?
Of course.
Right. So that's what an amulet does, is it's a representation of it. So energetically. So, I mean, you could do so many things with that, with the intention, with intention.
Yeah.
That's where, energy thrives and lives. And that's where things get done, is because of intention, not just because you want it, not just because you want something.
Sure.
So unbeknownst to you, you're sending this positive energy and all of this stuff through like an object with the intention of them being happy.
Yes.
So, and that came all natural to you, girl.
I made that shit up myself.
You made that shit up yourself. Look at you, brilliant influencer in more than one way. See?
I'm influencing right there.
See? When you're connected, you're in your purpose, sister.
That's right. That's right. It is true. It's true in so many, it has shown up in so many different ways like that. Sobriety is really the gift that keeps on giving, because it keeps, in a weird way, forcing me to find these other outlets, these other activities, and these other experiences that I wouldn't have had otherwise. Yeah. And so it's pretty beautiful.
I've been, what's really interesting is, like, energetically, for, I would say, a little bit over 1.5 years now, I have been bringing in or magnetizing people who are in recovery or who have been in recovery for a few years now, which I find very interesting, because there must be something in my energy. But I think it's because I'm always constantly wanting to improve on myself and be with people who realize and know that whatever they used to do is no longer working for them. Yeah. So people who have been sober of any kind of addiction, it doesn't even matter whether it was drugs, alcohol, sex, shopping, whatever.
It doesn't.
I mean, it can be whatever.
There's exercise even. There's some, it comes out in a lot of different ways. Yeah. It's the reward system in the brain gets modified in a negative way. Yeah. And so that can come through in a lot of different things.
Yeah. And I think the gifts that have been given to me is the inspiration of seeing them. And I hear these stories, right? So I'm an energy person, right? Like I feel people, and who I'm actually with at the time that I meet them and who I'm with, their energy, when they tell me about their stories, and I'm like, dude, no way. I would have never in a million years guessed, because that's how much you've changed. That's how much you've shifted. That is such a past life of yours. Like, it doesn't even, like, there's no way you will ever go back. Mm-mm. And I am so inspired by people like that. And I just feel like, people who have overcome adversity and who have been in the shitter at the lowest place of their lives and who literally have survived, I mean, they're just inspirational to me, and they keep me in line. I kid you not. So I am so grateful, so grateful. So, just like even you inspire me in that way. And I'm very grateful for that. But I just find it very interesting that that's kind of like who I've been drawing in too. So I'm like,
you definitely have a connection to that. It sounds like, for sure.
So I again, for me, I'm only as good as the people around me.
Yeah. Oh, me too. For sure.
So, I'm very inspired by adversity. As weird as that sounds. It's not the adversity I'm inspired by. It's the
but the people that can that overcome adversity. And I think that's the biggest part of why this sort of second life, if you will, because I do believe I got a second chance at life, because my rock bottom was so dark that I promised myself, if I could ever actually get through withdrawals, that I would never, ever, ever not be grateful for every single day. Because the type of situation I was in, I literally woke up every day, and if I didn't have the appropriate amount of medication, I was sick as a dog. Yeah. And trying to live through life on that sort of, with that type of, having to hold that in the balance of every moment of every day, with the fear of 3 hours from now, I could be super sick. And, you know, you just kind of, it's a very intense, it's a very dark place to be in for a long period of time.
Yeah.
So I promised myself if I could ever get through the sick part of getting better, I would never, ever, ever go back, and I would never, I would do my best not to ever be ungrateful for the second chance that I was given. Yeah. I have found, so I'm looking at 6 years of sobriety, and I have found that the last couple of years have been really, really, really hard for me. Not sobriety so much related, but the first few years I was like, oh my gosh, thank God I'm alive. And it was like every day it felt like that. It was just like, oh, we're alive, you know, and it's not that I don't feel like that now, but the sobriety part of it, it's like, okay, knock on wood, we've got this pretty hammered down. I worked really, 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 really hard on it for a really long time, so it's kind of hammered in. But I started to have some personal things that hit me. Yeah. Kind of just unexpectedly, health, loss. And I think that I started to feel very overwhelmed with just, I don't know how much more I can take. And I don't have a substance to lean back on. I don't have a lot of friends. I mean, recovery does funny things for your whole life. It's very odd, but I found that I was feeling very alone and very bombarded with things that were kind of out of my control. And then obviously, you know, quarantined and the pandemic.
Oh, come on, you're not partying like a rock star like I am.
Literally every moment of 2020 has not helped. And so I feel like and we'll talk about this later because I believe you're going to do a reading.
I will, yes.
I do feel like there's this, I just need something positive to give.
Yeah.
Like
to give.
I have to come through. Yeah. I've been dealing with so much loss unexpectedly. Yeah. One of the guys that I dated passed away Christmas Day, and then my ex-husband passed away the day after my birthday this year.
Goodness, I'm sorry.
And both for my ex-husband was very sick. I did not know it, but both sort of had a substance related, you know, the guy I dated passed away from an alcohol overdose, who had been sober. And when we were, you know, spending time together, and then my ex-husband, just his body kind of gave out, and he was very sick. But I didn't know that, so both were pretty unexpected. And so I just, between that and then just everything else that's kind of come through, and then the financial challenges of not being able to work, I feel like we're all just like,
it's an earth up leveling. Yeah, we're up leveling humanity. Yeah. And it's and you know what? Anybody who says, "Oh, just love and light your way through this," I say, fuck off.
No, me too. I'm like, you know what? I've been loving that is like so 3 months ago. Like I did that for a
3 months is like eons ago.
Like, you know? No. We are way beyond that. That is not working. That shit's not working anymore.
No, it's
somebody give me some stuff I can really use here.
I mean, we're all doing we are all being forced to do shadow work. We're in the dawning of the age of Aquarius. If you want me to sing, I will, but
I want you to.
Wait, how does the song go? This is the age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius. Yes.
I love it. Yes.
Yeah, I added.
You're welcome, you guys. You're so welcome for that.
Namaste.
There's a tip jar. There's a tip jar. It's right here. Go ahead and just leave a tip.
Thank God I'm making money somehow. Next, I'm dancing. I'm dancing for dollars next.
I love it.
I mean, we're just doing a lot of shadow work. A lot of this stuff, because the thing is like where we're heading is we are being called to work collectively. And in order to do that, we have to individually work our shit out. Yeah. And it's just part of it. And it's sucking ass and I'm
Yeah.
crying several times a day. To be fully transparent, I'm getting help. I need help
Yeah.
as I go along, because like I said, I'm only as good as the people around me. I
Right.
chose a job to be of service to other people. Right. So I can't be an empty well, because then I can't, quench their thirst. Right. So it's just the way it is right now. There is an end to it, but I have to tell you that like these next 10 years are going to be a challenge, but they're not going to be as bad
this year.
This year. Like we're fucked this year. There's a lot of fucking happening, and it's not in a good way.
Honestly, like I'm just throwing in the whole year.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
It's not going to count. I'm just throwing the whole thing in there. And January 1st, I'm gonna consider.
Yeah, I would wait till probably
I'm not even sure.
March or April to. Yeah,
I'm gonna consider starting to forgive 2020.
Oh,
it's gonna be a while.
It's gonna take a long time for me to forgive this year. And you know what? I declare and deem 2020 calorie free. Like, no, just chocolate is my bestie, so it's like, fuck it. Just. And again, it's like, it's a process, and it's so it's a whole other story, but we will get through it. That's the good news. We will get through it.
I believe that.
For sure.
I definitely do. I believe that it's a phase.
It is.
It's a cycle.
It is.
It's just a tough one.
I know. I hear you. So, Miss Amanda, you have a paranormal story you want to share with me, and you sent me pictures too.
Yes.
So,
yes.
For everybody watching out there on the YouTube, I will be having these pictures. They'll be edited in somehow, some way. So if you are listening to this on any of the platforms like iTunes or something like this, I'm going to actually drive you over to the YouTube so you can see these. If not, just be patient as we chat through these pictures. So tell me about this situation, or just tell me like what happened, what you did, what your experience was, and then I'm going to look at the pictures and just kind of like go over and share with you thoughts and all of that.
Okay, so I happen to be somebody very drawn to the paranormal realm, right? Yeah. I don't have a lot of upbringing in it. I'm kind of the only one, really, other than maybe my younger brother, but I definitely have a connection to it. I've always felt it. I've always sensed it. I don't visually see anything. I don't hear words per se, but it's like a sensation.
Sure.
And so because of my own interpretation, I've been drawn to it. And so with modeling, I got into it was like before, I want to say it was like, not quite Halloween, but I was still either inspired by Halloween or Halloween was coming up. It could always be Halloween for me because I love dress up.
I agree.
So anyway, I decided I wanted to do some photography that was edgy, but also potentially had the potential to have something paranormal show up. Mm-hmm. So we went to this place in Los Angeles. We got nothing. This hotel that's supposed to be, have all this paranormal activity. Nothing happened.
What was the hotel?
I don't remember the name of it. I think I was gonna look it up for you last time and I forgot, but it was in downtown LA.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, not downtown LA. It was in East LA. And it's now apartments, but again, it was just sort of me I know it's kind of weird, right?
Well, are you talking about Linda Vista, where it used to be the hospital, Linda Vista, which is now actually a senior citizen home? Is that what you're talking about?
Pretty sure.
Oh, good Lord, I investigated that place. That is like legit. That place is legit. Holy, yeah. And it's a senior citizen's home now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to, does it have a basement?
I don't remember if it has a basement. I mean, it was an actual hospital in the 60s.
Oh yeah.
And there are several buildings actually.
Okay.
Yes. And there was like surgeries, there was like a surgical part, and then there was a mental health part. I mean, it was
mental health. Yes.
So I don't remember if I was in the basement. I know that there's different levels and we walked all over the place.
Yeah. So anyway, the photos, some of the photos I saw were from that location. They were apparently in the basement before it transitioned to a senior facility.
Yeah, that was really scary when that happened. It was at Boyle Heights, yes?
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway.
It's okay.
So we went there and I, a bunch of different outfits. We went lots of different places, got nothing. So I thought, well, that's fine. No problem. So I but the thought kept kind of being there for me that I wanted to sort of fulfill this, whatever this is. I didn't really even know. I just know it was like this thing I wanted to do. So I'm sitting on my couch and I'm like, oh my gosh, duh, Amanda, like right around the corner is the university, Channel Islands University. And that's very well known for paranormal.
Yes.
Like, well, what do you think? It's like 10 miles away. Why didn't I go there? So I'm sitting on the couch one day and I had texted a photographer friend. I said, hey, you want to go do some paranormal photography with me? And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, we're just going to do a photo shoot, but we're going to see if we're going to go to this location. Does it freak you out? Whatever. It's like, no, let's do it. So that night I watched the documentary of the investigators that have done a lot of work there. They've been investigating it for a long time, and I don't have any I was watching it just from where on campus are they focusing on?
Yeah.
Versus really kind of knowing.
It's okay. It's just the ghost from the Channel Islands.
Yeah, that's the ghost. No. Versus sort of, I don't know the team at all or whether it was legit or any of that. I was looking at it from, what are some of the considered hotter spots?
Yeah. So
we get there with the photographer, and as I do, I went in and I said, you cannot attach to us and you cannot attach to our stuff. I said, but if you want to present yourself in the photos, that is okay. I said, and so we go in and do this whole, 4 hours we're probably on the property. We're in the areas that are completely, at this point, they were just completely gutting it. Mm-hmm. So they were still abandoned. Most of the university has been redone, but there's a few little spots kind of over on the backside that at this time they were still kind of abandoned. Right now they're being renovated. So it's not even the same now. You couldn't even go there now and get the experience that we had. But when we were there, so we're all in the like dirt and the grime. We're not in the, we did some of the fun and fancy, but most of it was like, the old metal handles and the broken windows and
wires everywhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we, from being there, you definitely get a feeling.
Yeah.
But there was absolutely not a single thing that happened. Not even like a wannabe thing. I was like, well, shoot, and then I thought, well, maybe it's a sign that I need to just let this go. I know that I don't really know enough to protect myself in a way that is sufficient probably. And so I thought, maybe I'll just kind of, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this didn't really come to fruition. For whatever reason, I had this really serious draw. Mm-hmm. But it didn't happen, and it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna let it go. So that was kind of my thinking as we were getting ready to leave, and I said, oh my gosh, hey, we are like 15 minutes from the beach and it's about sunset. Let's run over there really fast. I have 1 or 2 outfits left. Let's get over there, see if we can catch the sunset at the beach, and then we'll be done with the day.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's literally like sunset, like not up and high in the sky, like pretty low in the bottom. So we're racing over there. We get me out there, and by the time we get me kind of in the outfit and everything and ready to take pictures, it's almost dark. I mean, it's really close to dark. And he's like, man, I can't even see through my photo hole. And I'm like, just, where I'm standing, like, listen to my voice.
Just shoot and point.
Just shoot the picture. I said, it was so funny. He's like, this is crap, man. What are you doing? I said, I just did flash photography at night. It actually comes out really cool. I get that you aren't going to be able to frame it perfectly. I said, but if we get one shot out of it, it'll be super fun. So we go for it. So he just starts shooting, and he's like, all of a sudden, he's like, Amanda, my camera is not functioning properly. And I said, well, what's going on? He's like, I don't know. It is doing the weirdest things. He's like, I pushed the button, it's not working. It's like, I feel like something's messing with it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude, we've been out here too long. Like, I need to take you home. I need to let you go. Okay. And then I thought, well, maybe it's dark. And, he's pushing the wrong button. It could be a lot of things. And so then he's like looking through the review of the last few photos, and he's like, you got to see this. This is really weird. I said, okay. So I hobble over there, I'm in the sand, it's dark, I'm trying not to fall. And I look over into the view thing and I'm like, what in the heck is that? And he said, I don't know. He's like, I can't see anything out in front of me. He's like, I have no idea. I said, okay, well, let me get my next outfit on. We're going to keep shooting. Because this is what I've been waiting for. And so we did. We kept shooting, and it literally in the dark, no idea what we were going to actually capture. And you're going to show the pictures. And so we've actually briefly chatted about this already. So I think I know what you're already going to say, but I want them to be able to kind of see the pictures, hear what your interpretation is.
Sure.
The last part of the story is that, my car was functioning just fine. It had been on campus all day long. My battery was by no means old. And I went to go to a photo shoot in LA the next day. And when I got to the 405-101 split, my car died. Out of nowhere, just done.
Like there in the on the freeway, like
on that little island. Like
that's like the worst.
I take it to the guy, and the guy's like, he's like, your battery is so drained right now. Like, I don't even know how you got from where you are to where you went. He's like, and I don't understand why it didn't recharge. Like, wow. How would I know?
Yeah.
So it was just a weird couple of days.
The whole experience, yeah. So I'm going to look at these pictures here and see. We old people have to like put our glasses on. Okay. So I'm looking at picture number 1, and this will be put on the screen for you YouTube watchers. I don't see much going on except that you're like stunningly beautiful, and you're wearing boots. Are those boots like are they like snakeskin boots that you were wearing?
Let me look, because I have them
right here. It looks like snakeskin boots.
Oh, those are the best cowboy boots ever. So I wear a size 12.5. Those are full-blown cowboy boots with like their leopard print and black sequins.
Oh, there's sequins?
There's sequins in there as well.
That's actually a very important piece of information.
Yeah.
Okay, so in picture 1 that I have here, I mean, it was sunset, right?
It was. You can see on the right-hand side, it's like red over there. The sun has probably just gone down.
Yeah. And you said he used a flash, right? Because you guys were doing nighttime.
I did have him using the flash because otherwise we wouldn't have seen me at all.
Yeah. So I don't see anything weird or anything that, like, with number 1, I don't see anything that would be like, if I looked at it, I'd go like, what? No,
yeah, big deal.
Totally
it just looks like sky to me.
Right. So number 2, I'm looking at number 2, and it is darker in picture number 2. I can see the flash against your skin, but it looks like there's like, I don't know if the word is transposition or something like that, of like you, as if like your soul was leaving your body, but it's, yeah. And that does, to me, that does look like it's a light reflection. Yeah. And now knowing that your boots were, that there were sequins.
Well, the sequins are small.
Okay.
So it's brown leather, and if you zoom in on the picture, there are there's like cutouts in the leather. Yeah, I can see
those. So those were the sequences, right?
Yeah, so they're behind the leather.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
That helps.
So number 2 still looks like it's transposed, or there's something like that. Now number 3 looks kind of cool, because here's why I think number 3 looks cool. I mean, for whatever this is, I still don't think this particular shot is paranormal at all.
Right.
It looks like there's like a mist or something that's kind of the color of like sunrise. And then if you really look at it, it kind of looks like it's you putting your head like this.
Hand up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the one I posted to Instagram, not stating that it was paranormal, but I said, when your aura even thinks you're cute.
Yeah. Like, and that's a great caption. Like, that's cool, because like,
Your aura's like, wow, girl, looking good.
Because like you as a human, you're just standing there, posing, but then
Right.
your soul is like, hey, what's up, baby?
Checking it out. Like, hey.
But it does look like somehow, some way, and like, again, a transposition of another picture got like transposed on.
Yeah, because you can see at the top too. You can see a duplication of the hat.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean,
So it's like it's almost like 3 images.
Right, like
blended
on top of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And number 4 to me looks also super cool because it kind of looks like.
Well, number 4 was like, okay, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm done. Like, this
you're like, that's the one. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
only because. Go ahead.
Because to me, it's like there's 3 sort of faces almost, or what could on one side. Then you see my reflection at the top with the hat.
Yeah.
See me at the very top?
Yeah.
My whole face and hair
like
and hats up there.
Like you're an angel.
And then the other side, it's, if you zoom in, it's almost like there's a
mouse face or something, rat face or something like that. Yeah.
But for whatever reason, the face looking thing below my cowboy hat, that first one.
I see that. Yes.
Where it almost looks like it has eyes.
Yeah.
That one was like, okay, yeah, I'm good.
You're like, I'm done.
I don't care if this is a reflection or what, but I'm okay, cool.
Yeah.
And again, it very well could be that it's just some type of, mist or something that was in front of the lens, or somehow when his camera wasn't working, is it duplicating it?
Right. So, I mean, again, we can't, this picture, for whatever it's worth, to me, looks again, yet like transposition and reflection. And just the fact that there was a flash, it wasn't completely dark. There's also the sand, which can reflect. You had the water, even though it was in the background where there could be reflection, and even teeny tiny little sequence in the boots. That kind of tells me more than likely the pictures are not paranormal. However, when you're telling me this story, a very common experience of a paranormal experience is battery drainage or messing with electronics.
The equipment somehow.
The equipment, because of discrepancies in energy and electromagnetic fields. So, if his camera was normally regular and working, and then all of a sudden it wasn't,
Yeah. Well, we had shot for 4 hours.
And you were shooting for 4 hours.
Never had a problem.
No problem. And then you
totally fine.
Go to the location and things possibly go awry. So, there's that. Plus your experience of like the battery drainage of your car the very next day. Now, I'm not saying you brought anything home with you, not necessarily.
No.
We're dealing with energy. So if there is something that, if there's like you and I, when we're together, even right now, we're exchanging energy. Our energies are blending. Yes. Yeah. So it could have been like there was other outside influential, just like you're an influencer. Heyo, you like how we pulled that in together. Affecting your electromagnetic field and your photographers too. So, to say, I mean, I can't say you didn't have a paranormal experience because it was very personal. I can tell you that no matter what you experienced was very real for you. And there had to have been energetic shifts if like your car battery was like fine and the mechanics even like, what
is that? Yeah.
So I can definitely say yes, energetic shifts and all of that. And I guess, paranormal, it really means anything that's not normal.
And
what I would do is I would say that this was a personal experience. You went to a known hot spot, but from the pictures itself, I would not be able to just like say, hey, this is, what's going on. Digital cameras these days are so amazing. And you can see every tiny little thing and everything reflects off of them. So really for like a true paranormal shot, you have to get at least 3 successive pictures of something as it's happening. Then you get your 3 pictures happening, and then you get 3 pictures after it's happening.
Got it.
And then you can, put them all together and go, oh, okay.
That makes sense.
This is kind of interesting to see how this is all, fitting
coming together.
Yeah. But I mean, I love your story, and you obviously love your story. So that's a good thing.
I do. And I didn't feel like it was a negative experience.
Yeah.
So, I showed someone the picture and they were like all freaked out. And I said, well, that's so funny, because I didn't get a freaked out feeling at all about it. It wasn't a negative experience whatsoever. And I didn't feel like anything came home with us. I felt like they were playful almost.
Yeah.
Well,
you have heightened sensitivities that you've had your entire life.
Yes.
So there are certain energies and frequencies that don't
Right.
freak out your human nervous system.
Right.
But some people immediately will deem something different as dangerous. That's normal.
Right.
That's the human operating system.
Sure.
But when you're kind of used to
It's not that.
it's not as big
norm.
of a deal. Right.
No.
I mean, for you, it's
For me.
more normal. For me,
For
it's
me.
maybe more normal, but not for
Yeah.
maybe the person who's freaking the fuck out. Right.
Right.
So that's why they're going to go on alert, and anything that the brain deems different, it'll automatically try and protect itself and deem it dangerous.
Sure.
And most of the time, that's what I'm teaching people how to do, is just to chill out and just understand you're a human being, and
Yeah.
all is well. So I love this. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you for
and the
your
pictures.
interpretation. I love it.
Yeah. So,
And I'm so jealous you did paranormal investigating, because I don't know. I've always kind of been fascinated by it, and from years ago. It's a little more popular mainstream, I feel like now.
Yeah.
But many, many, many years ago, when I first started watching it, it was actually really kind of calming isn't the right word, but I had so many things like that in my life. It was nice to know that I maybe wasn't the only person that
Some validation.
had some validation that, maybe this is something that we can actually see if we set it up correctly. I don't think we see it as often as people think, like even the pictures here. I think it's really, really, really rare to actually capture something that's legit.
Yeah.
But I found it very helpful for my own spirit, that other people were at least as interested in it as I was, and maybe were having some similar experiences. Because again, I don't have anybody in my family that has whatever it is I have.
Yeah.
And so from their perspective, I think sometimes I'm just like the cuckoo daughter, and that's okay. And I take it with, I feel like I've lived a lot of lives.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I don't know how you feel about young soul, old soul. I don't know that we need to even name it, but I feel like my soul's done this a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
And that I finally am at a place where I'm recognizing things I wouldn't have been able to recognize many, many lives ago. It's like my brain's like, yeah, remember last time? It's like, come on.
Yeah, it's in your field. Well, I mean, there used to be a show on, I think it was the A&E network, called Psychic Kids. And
I loved that show.
With Chip Coffey, the medium.
Yes.
That show inspired me to get into ghost hunting. I was like, if kids could do this, I could do this. And that's what officially led me to my mediumistic experiences and then my formal training. So I can understand the draw to it.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, after doing it for so many years, it's really boring as shit.
Oh.
It looks way more glamorous than it actually is. It's boring.
I mean, hours upon hours upon hours of nothing.
In abandoned buildings.
And then if you don't pay attention for the 1/2 a millisecond, you miss it or what? I mean, all of the real true paranormal stuff, when it's authentic and it happens, it's when you're reviewing the information after
when you're there.
after the fact.
It's after the fact, and you're like, I fucking got up at 1 a.m. to go to an investigation at 3 a.m. in fucking Victorville. I'm exhausted.
This is stupid.
Why am I doing this? My energy is just like,
What was I thinking?
but you know what? It does look glamorous to somebody who, you know, doesn't.
Yeah.
I understand the draw.
Yeah.
It is what got
Yeah.
me. It is what started me to where I am. So I
Yeah.
shouldn't shit on it. But
No, but it's like waiting 6 hours to do runway when you're going to be up there for 1 minute.
Right.
It's similar. It's like,
Yeah.
it's great. I get
Yeah.
the draw.
yeah.
But it's from a modeling perspective. There's a lot of like sit around and do.
Yeah. So before we get into our reading, because we're almost there, how can people find you, or you know, get in touch with you, or you know, see you, or be influenced by you?
So the main place that I post at is Instagram right now.
Okay.
And that's Amanda Christine. Christine is with a C, and then _official. Amanda Christine _official. And then I also have an OnlyFans page, and I was sharing with you earlier that it's not because it's not all adult content on OnlyFans, right?
No shame in the game, girl. You got it. You flaunt it.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
No. But it's great. It's a great place for sexy photography, which is what I am so drawn to, and I love so much. And so I have an OnlyFans. It's Amanda plus love. So plus, obviously, like the plus size, but it's also me and me plus love put together.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So I think I just looked, and I have 340 posts and videos already up on OnlyFans. I've only been doing it since about March. So there's already a great amount of really cool content. I shoot my own stuff, I edit my own stuff, and it's really, really, really fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys should check it out for sure.
You should check it out. It's fun.
And I'll make sure that I have all your information, like in the notes and the description below, in case anybody wants to join. Or I don't know how that works because I'm not familiar.
It's a $5 a month subscription, and you have access to everything.
Subscribe, people. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's so worth it. She's so beautiful. Why wouldn't you want to look at her?
And then my email is amandachristinePlusLove@gmail.com. And then I do Poshmark. So if you're interested in my fashion, or you want something from my closet, it's Bama, BAMA Valentine.
Nice. And you'll paint the boxes.
And I'll paint the box.
So you guys, it's a spiritual gift that you're getting. That you know. It's
I send a photo, signed autograph photo, like that. It's really fun.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's so great. That is so great. Yeah, being of service, making someone else happy. You know, you
really
had mentioned it earlier. You know, that's your happy place. So the more you can do that, the better. Okay, my dear, let's have a quickie, shall we?
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, so do you have a question for me?
Yes. So, and we chatted on this a little bit before. Hey, Mom, we're videoing this. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
Can you do that later? My mom's
this
opening
is
the
called
mail.
reality.
No
Unless
you want to get beyond the video.
Exactly.
No meal time. No. Sorry, guys.
That's all good.
So, my question. Okay, so I am curious about ways. Are there some ways from your reading that I could potentially help my cash flow?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm already getting information on this.
Okay.
I just don't know how open you are to this. So, and you remember how I work, right? So it's metaphor. So if it's not exact or literal.
Absolutely.
And anything that I do say is for your highest and best good. So if I say something that doesn't resonate with you, where you're like, fuck that shit, Terrie, you know, don't even worry about it. But there's something, and I know I've read for you before, but I don't remember. Like, I don't keep this stuff. I just channel it. So I don't know if I've told you this before, but the first thing that started coming through is writing. So I don't know if there's a blog or something that you can start writing. Now, I do feel like it has to do with your stories. So you have stories. Do you understand this? Like, maybe something along the lines of, because you even mentioned, and it stood out to me when you said it, and I didn't know why or how, but you had even said, I've had many past lives within this life. within this life.
Oh, for sure.
So, there's something about writing a blog or writing a book or something, and either getting sponsorship or advertising or something along those lines. But it also feels like it's something that you haven't really thought of, or in the past may have been afraid to do. So there's something, or it's something like you may start writing, but you might talk yourself out of it. But it feels like it's just an avenue that you haven't thought about.
Okay, because I have thought about writing a book, so I think it's different than that.
Okay. So if it's not the book, I feel like I want to say blog, and then you can probably marry it to the modeling somehow, or what you're doing with even the sexy photography right now.
Yeah.
You could even like I know you're saying no to a book, but even if it was a sexy book.
I don't think I'm saying, I'm not, maybe I am just by the way that I just said it, but I would do a book in a heartbeat.
Okay. So the angle might be the sexy book or the sexy picture book with stories behind it of past lives. Like maybe you can recreate in a sexy way stories, but just visually first, and then write a story to it. It does feel like it opens up something new for you. So that could just be new advertising, new business, new something that you just haven't considered before. Okay.
Okay.
So I feel.
So I'm going to share it so that we can someday go back and go, oh, remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
I am actually a pretty darn good writer. And I am a very, so if you've ever done any type of sexting.
Oh my God, keep going. I think I know where you're going with this, and I'm getting so many chills.
I happen to sort of like have skills in that area.
This is not something to joke about. This is real. Write a fucking sexting book.
I'm serious.
Don't shy away from the sex.
Because the photography with the written description, I feel, is so much more powerful.
Oh no, you froze!
Powerful than just having the photo.
Okay, we're freezing. Fucking scared.
You two can't handle it. It's like
we're not even on YouTube yet, and it hasn't been posted yet.
I know.
It's the
your
energy.
Computer can't handle it. Your computer's
No,
like,
my computer is not prude.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Notice mine didn't freeze though.
Yeah, that was on me. My bad. All right, keep talking because you're so onto something, and this is like what I'm talking about, and I'm getting chills on this. Here's the thing is that, God, there's so much you can do with it too. That's the thing. Like, especially with like your intention, you can actually make this a real sensual experience. So if you were to focus in on the frequency of sensuality and really, I feel like you could help a lot of women, but not even just women, but just other people who,
women, I think it's women. I think it's couples. I think there are partners that would just like some inspiration, maybe some direction. I feel like there's a lot about the female body that I don't understand why. Maybe this is, I feel like there's a lot that could be explained in a way that wasn't like a medical book. Like it was, a little bit more interesting and fun.
Yeah.
You could read it together. You could read it on your own. I think it would be.
There's fun and play, and there's money involved in this. And yes, you might be involved for whatever it's worth. Yes, you might be more heading in the direction of the adult video world.
Actually, I am super okay with.
Okay.
It's sort of those that are in my immediate environment that have a harder time. I'm like absolutely game. I love it. It really, I know it would bring people joy and happiness.
Yeah.
And I feel really good about it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to sort of move past worrying about other people.
That's the key. That's it right here. And that's a lesson for you. And that's why you get stuck, because you're too worried about what other people are doing. As soon as you can, we briefly talked about the feeling or the sensation of freedom. And this is something that you'd be able to tap into, that frequency of freedom, and not just financial freedom, because there is money attached to this, girl. There
I think so too.
Money. And, you know, so, I mean, obviously do not give the details away right now. Somebody might be watching this and going, I'm going to go do that same thing. But they'll never do
it's
it.
Okay, because they can't do it the way I would do it.
Exactly. So it's almost like the very thing that you're afraid of on some level, this is what's coming through. The very thing that you're afraid of is what's your gift.
Okay.
And so if you're truly, truly ready to do this and make money and feel that sensation of freedom, and I feel like it's also expression for you as well.
Totally.
Like it's like
Huge.
your voice. Then this is something you have to do. And because you're afraid of doing it, or I wouldn't say like you're terrified, but there's resistance to do it.
A little bit.
The action is doing the complete opposite, which is doing it instead of talking yourself out of it. So in order for you to get to where you want to go, on some level, you have to betray yourself. And I know that's dramatic, but yourself is saying, no, I don't want to do this. And I'm going to tell you to betray that part of yourself. That's like, no, I'm going to say, do it. Look,
do it. Okay.
Make this decision for you. You gotta do it yourself.
I take everything. Yeah.
You know, and here's the thing is, I feel like this could almost be like a magazine even. Like it could be, again, back to the blog. Like if you wanted this to be an ongoing kind of thing, like every month there's a different theme for this, that, and the other thing. And I'm going to just go ahead and say, if you want some sort of like energetic, like monthly outlook, you know, like I'd be happy to like contribute writing, you know, energy breakdowns or something like that, you know, like a reading or some sort. But this is viable to me. It feels like it's viable. So it's really up to you. Yeah.
It's funny, right before you said, you know, I've had this, you know, and people kind of, I'm sure it's a little cliche, but I've been collecting vintage Playboy since I was very young. I lived in a small town and Marilyn was on the very first cover, and I was always kind of obsessed with her light, right? Mm-hmm. Even though she kind of had a darkness about her, which I think that they're right.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why so many people are drawn to her, is because there's so much of ourselves in her for a lot of people, especially people that end up being in front of the camera or in the spotlight. It's a light that comes through that people are attracted to, but in real life, there's also a lot of times a darkness.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was very attracted to her as a young person, and obviously she was on the cover of Playboy. So I had this whole, like, I have believed since I was young that I was going to be in Playboy somehow. And I always thought of it that it was going to be visually with photos. But wouldn't it be interesting if it turned out to be an article every month versus trying to be a model in their magazine, right? I don't know, just a thought.
But I see the potential of you marrying everything together.
Putting it all together.
Yeah.
I can't start there because I'm not willing to wait on a company, if you will, when I know that I have the resources to do it myself.
Don't fucking wait. Do this. Yeah. You just started right now, and I will help write, you know, like energy shit for you. Yeah. You already have like an astrology section, except energy. Like, hey, Leos, get your game on this month. Or, you know, Sagittarius, sorry. Use a sock.
Gosh,
you know,
love it.
So we'll talk we'll talk later. Whatever. Okay. But there's potential and possibility, but that's what it feels like for me on behalf of you. All right. So it was so much fun chatting with you. And I really appreciate you coming on here and sharing, you know, so much of yourself and all your self-care practices and how you've come through adversity and, you know, how you keep finding ways to be of service and like help other people, which you didn't even realize you were doing with the whole painting thing. I love it. It's so brilliant. And I'm just so grateful that not only are we friends, but that you're here. And then, you know, once this gets off and running, girl, we're going to have you back here, right?
Yeah.
Right?
We're going to have lots of fun stuff to talk about.
Exactly. And we'll start talking about the energy of sexuality and sensuality and the divine feminine and the divine masculine. There's so much we can do here. So much. So Thank you so much, you guys.
You're so welcome.
I am gonna leave all of Amanda's information.
Aww.
Please follow her, like, subscribe, all the things, become members, the whole thing. And I just want to share my gratitude to each and every one of you who are either watching or listening to this.
Absolutely.
I can't do this without you guys, you know? It is,
Yeah.
like I was saying to Amanda, it's like, I'm only as good as the people around me. So I appreciate each and every one of your support. So thank you so much.
Aww.
This is such
I
a
just
great
got
way.
chills when you said that.
You made me cry. This is quickly turning into a cry fest, you guys.
So beautiful. Cry with us.
Yes, cry with us. So thank you
Oh.
guys for listening to The Portal, and stay connected, and I'll see you all on the flip side.